Stanford University layoffs. 363 jobs cut amid federal policy changes. Imagine a world where one of the wealthiest universities in the United States is forced to cut hundreds of jobs due to financial constraints. This is the harsh reality that Stanford University is facing, with plans to lay off 363 employees this fall. The news comes as a shock, especially considering the university's endowment is valued at a staggering $37.6 billion. But here's where it gets controversial. The layoffs are a direct result of federal policy changes affecting higher education, leaving many to wonder if this is a sign of things to come for other institutions. The university's president, John Levin, and provost, Jenny Martinez, announced the cuts in a letter to the campus community, citing a challenging fiscal environment shaped by federal policy changes. They noted that the layoffs are part of a larger effort to reduce $140 million from the general fund's budget. But what's really going on here? Is this a case of a university being forced to tighten its belt due to circumstances beyond its control? Or is it a sign of a larger problem in the world of higher education? And this is the part most people miss. The layoffs are not just a result of financial constraints, but also a result of anticipated changes in federal policy, including reductions in federal research funding and an increase in the excise tax on investment income. University officials have provided more information in a letter filed with the California Employment Development Department, but many questions still remain unanswered. For example, who will be affected by the job cuts? Will it be faculty members, staff, or a combination of both? The lack of specifics has left many in the community wondering what the future holds. Stanford is not alone in its struggles, however. Other wealthy universities, such as Duke and Northwestern, have also enacted cuts in recent months. Duke University announced that 599 employees had accepted buyouts, while Northwestern University cut 425 jobs due to a federal research funding freeze. It's clear that the world of higher education is facing a period of uncertainty, and the effects of federal policy changes are being felt far and wide. But here's the question. Is this a necessary evil, or is it a sign of a larger problem that needs to be addressed? We want to hear from you. Do you think the layoffs at Stanford University are a justified response to financial constraints? Or do you think there's more to the story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is certain. The future of higher education is at a crossroads, and the decisions made today will have far-reaching consequences for years to come. Stanford University layoffs. Impact of federal cuts. In a shocking turn of events, Stanford University is set to permanently lay off hundreds of its employees this fall. A decision driven by significant budget cuts linked to federal policy changes, escalating operational expenses, and evolving funding sources. This information comes from official state filings and statements released by the university itself. The layoffs are scheduled to occur between September 30th and November 1st, affecting a total of 363 positions, as confirmed by a spokesperson for the university on Tuesday. These job cuts will impact over 200 different job classifications, reaching into nearly every department within the university. This includes areas such as administration, research, information technology, student services, alumni relations, and campus operations. As detailed in a WARN Act notice submitted to the California Employment Development Department last week. In a letter that accompanied this filing, Elizabeth Zacharias, Stanford's Vice President for Human Resources, pointed to ongoing economic uncertainty anticipated in 2025, along with expected changes in federal policy. These changes include cuts to federal research funding and an increase in the excise tax on investment income, both of which are significant contributors to the decision to reduce the workforce. The layoffs will account for nearly 2% of Stanford's total administrative and technical workforce, which numbers around 13,000 employees. A recent piece of legislation known as President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, which was signed into law last month, has raised Stanford's endowment tax from 1.4% to a staggering 8%. This adjustment is projected to cost the university approximately $750 million each year. University officials have expressed concerns that this steep increase could threaten financial aid programs, as more than 2/3 of such aid is sourced from the endowment. Concurrently, Stanford has experienced substantial reductions in federal research funding, with numerous grants from the National Institutes of Health and the National Science Foundation being either canceled or postponed due to ongoing funding freezes. In communications directed at faculty and staff, university leaders have outlined a $140 million reduction in Stanford's general funds budget for the academic year 2025-26. In a letter dated July 31st, President Jonathan Levin and Provost Jenny Martinez stated, "This is the product of a challenging fiscal environment shaped in large part by federal policy changes affecting higher education. These are difficult actions that affect valued colleagues and friends who have made important contributions to Stanford." An earlier memo from Martinez and Levin, dated June 26th, highlighted the university's commitment to maintaining core academic priorities, such as undergraduate financial aid and funding for doctoral students. However, they acknowledged that staff reductions would be necessary, and not all of these could be achieved by simply eliminating open positions. Stanford officials have reassured the community that the university will continue to operate fully, but they have also cautioned that further layoffs may be necessary if financial conditions deteriorate. Editor's note: this article has been updated to reflect the increase in Stanford's endowment tax to 8% and to clarify that the layoffs will affect nearly 2% of the university's non-teaching staff. What are your thoughts on the impact of federal policy changes on educational institutions? Do you believe that such drastic measures are justified? Share your opinions in the comments below.